Hi, it's Dwyer, gamblersadvisory.com, dwyervip.com. Remember, the opinion you should follow should be your own. Just consider this video to be a second opinion from a complete stranger online. Now, a lot of people think these celebrity fights, and we're going to talk about Chris Brown versus Soulja Boy, are joke fights that no one should take seriously, right? After all, the money is being donated to charity. You know, I'm not one of those people. Any event where a casino is accepting real money and giving you real odds is a serious event in my book. If you can make a profit being on the right side of this play, why wouldn't you at least try? Now, one thing I've learned following boxing is that someone's persona, whether they're acting like a tough guy or a big softy, is irrelevant, right? Doesn't indicate one way or the other whether the guy is a good fighter. So you'll come across people like Big George Foreman after his comeback, right? He's laughable, he's selling you grills, he's, joking about food and stuff like that. You'll come across a Manny Pacquiao who, looks like he's going to crack up laughing every single time he's supposed to look tough in these stare downs with an opponent for promotional reasons, right? Manny's a guy who doesn't really take himself too seriously. You look at fighters like a Chris Eubanks Sr., who, for those of you who remember back in the day, was always clowning it up for the camera, right? Treated it as kind of like a fun type thing. You'll look at a Lennox Lewis, you'll look at an Alexis Arguello, right? These were low-key guys who were, urbane, looked like they liked to drink tea, laid back, non-threatening personas. All of the guys I've named, George Foreman, Manny Pacquiao, Chris Eubanks Sr., Lennox Lewis, Alexis Arguello, were murderous punchers. Right, folks, they hit hard. All of the guys I named knew how to fight. They'd take your heart out. All of them were in hardcore fights, gut check fights, where they had to literally pull out the win, right? When they were in shootouts where the bullets kept flying. Great fighters. All of them, easygoing, happy-go-lucky, non-gangster personas. So I'm not interested in the personas of Chris Brown and Soulja Boy, right? I'm not going to go on Facebook or, Instagram to figure out what kind of good trash these guys are throwing at each other over the internet, right? Or who comes across tougher or whatever. I'm not... that doesn't mean anything to me. That quiet neighbor you have might be the best fighter in the neighborhood. So, cutting through all the clutter here, let's look at this fight. I'm rolling with Chris Brown on this one all day. Chris Brown is my choice to win this fight. First, understand, it's Chris Brown who challenged Soulja Boy to the boxing match. That's your first tip-off. This great idea was Chris Brown's idea. He's the one who wanted this fight to happen. He wasn't backed into a corner to make the fight happen. He's the one who proposed the fight. Also, figure out the physicality here. Chris Brown is 6'1". 6'1". Soulja Boy is 5'9". Right? Chris Brown is the bigger man. Look at the guys. Soulja Boy looks slender. More slender than Chris Brown. Folks, I'm not sure if these two guys would be in the same weight class if they were boxers. Let's also talk about the people around them and how they might help or hurt their game. Soulja Boy is actually trained by Floyd Mayweather. Now, you remember Floyd, one of the best fighters we've seen. Excellent timing, excellent defense, complicated defense, right? Hiding his chin behind shoulder parts, doing what's called a pull counter. Someone throws a punch on Floyd, he would lean his head back, the punch would stop here. Right? That Floyd Mayweather, right? Back up against the ropes, some offensive guy like Ricky Hatton right in front of him. Mayweather timing, check left hooks, using defense. Marcus Maidana, Mayweather still on the ropes, using defense, winning the round. Now, given that Floyd is a technician of the highest order, don't you think it's hard to impart that knowledge to a novice in one training camp? You think Soulja Boy is gonna know how to do a shoulder roll with Floyd's timing after one training camp? How about pull counters? Understand, you get the pull counter wrong, and as the punch comes and you try to back away, you're gonna get smacked. You're gonna get hit. You're going to get hurt. Right? You think that Soulja Boy, with his back up against the ropes, is going to look anything like Floyd Mayweather? Folks, this is like Einstein trying to teach advanced physics to a new student for an exam in 8 weeks. It ain't going to happen. Now let's talk about Chris Brown. Chris Brown is trained by Mike Tyson. I believe Mike Tyson's job is a lot easier. Understand, if you have seen Chris Brown imitate Michael Jackson's dance moves, he has it down so tight that you realize that choreography is part of what he does, right? This is a guy who's like Usher, right? Great body control, very observant, can duplicate even masters in their moves, has done it before. It's part of his show business entertainment presentation, right? Now, to me, Tyson can show him some basic moves that involve what Mike Tyson used to do, jumping inside and throwing power shots, right? Tyson doesn't have to show him shoulder rolls and fighting with your back up against the ropes and stuff like that, right? No, Tyson can show him aggression, getting inside, throwing power shots, quartering an opponent. That's Mike Tyson's game. He has a fast learner in front of him. I believe it's much more likely that Chris Brown learns helpful information from Mike Tyson than it is the smaller Soulja Boy learning from Floyd Mayweather. I also give Chris Brown the edge in stamina. Let's be real here. Chris Brown is an entertainer. He does shows that involve dance moves. He's moving during a concert. He gets physical during a concert. This isn't some MC, some rapper holding a mic, walking around the stage, motioning to the crowd. No, this is a guy doing choreography. Right? This is a guy who has to exert himself. He's accustomed to it. These two guys come out for the third round. You know, Chris Brown, stamina-wise, in my opinion, is going to be a lot fresher than Soulja Boy. Right? Soulja Boy isn't the dancer. Soulja Boy isn't the athlete here. I believe the dancer and the athlete are Chris Brown. Let me say this too. what I want you to do, and this next one's going to be politically incorrect. Folks, if you're looking for political correctness, this is the wrong website, right? I personally also give Chris Brown the mental edge. What I want people to do is to research Chris Brown's past. I'm not going to get into a lot of details here, but let's just say this is a guy who has had a lot of heartache, right? There are things happening to him that quite frankly shouldn't have happened to him at 8 years old, right? The brother has really overcome a lot. You know, I think it's great that the brother has held it together while overcoming a lot. Now, I have no doubt that Soulja Boy has also overcome a lot, but the Chris Brown story to me really is interesting, right? I think Chris Brown wakes up every day grateful to be alive. Let me also say, too, there's some dodgy parts of Chris Brown's background that involve allegations of domestic violence, right? I'm not here to condone domestic violence in any way, shape, or form, right? Understand, I have prosecuted, right, some domestic violence cases. But let's just say that what's terrible behavior outside the ring, having a bad temper, can actually help you in a boxing match, right? Chris Brown, in my opinion, has a bad temper. So I'm going with the bigger man here, who I think is the better athlete, who I think has the mental edge and the bad temper. I like Chris Brown in this one. Let me hear from you, right? A lot of this video is based on speculation. There are some films online of Chris Brown hitting a heavy bag, right? I believe I came across one on TMZ or something like that. The brother looks coordinated. He looks like a guy who's athletic would look, fooling around in a new sport, right? I like Chris Brown in this one. I get the feeling that if these guys have any kind of personal animosity toward each other, in other words, if it's not just for show, if it's just not for dough, if it's actually based on a real beef, then I definitely like Chris Brown. I like Chris Brown in this one over Soulja Boy. I like Brown big. That's how I see it. Now, I understand many of you have a different point of view, right? Because just reading articles here online, it looks like there are many people who believe different things about this fight. If that's the case, I hope you leave your comments in the comment section to this video. If you believe Soulja Boy has the advantage here, right? If Soulja Boy has privately been actually in the ring, not hanging out with the money team, but actually in the ring boxing with the money team, and you have that information, I hope you leave it in the comment section to this video. Thanks for stopping by.